Hi there, Sonia here. I hope this is working because it wasn't working before. I tried a few times. So I thought before I try Zoom, I'll try here one more time. Okay, so I just moved on to my my phone. Please let me know if you're here, if you can hear me, if you can see me, and that will really help me out. Let me know if you're here, if you can hear me, if you can see me. Okay, so okay, I think it looks like it's working, so I'm just gonna continue on the phone. Okay, very good. All right, so again, Sonia El-Haj here, your certified coactive life coach and founder of the Free Butterfly Tribe here on Facebook. As you can notice, today I'm wearing butterflies and I really wanted to remind you of this new free support a community on Facebook. So this is a community for women who have suffered or have gone through or are still going through divorce, a breakup or separation. And this community is meant to help these women navigate the complexities and the challenges of this time. This is not a group where we sit down and express our hate for men. We don't hate men. We don't talk to each other and complain about men. It's not for women or anybody who wants to function from a victim mentality. Or who wants someone to blame. It's not about that at all. I can see someone online. Thank you, whoever that is. I cannot see anything here yet. So please feel free when you join us to add a comment or an emoji or say hi. Thank you. Okay. So again, the Free Butterfly Tribe, that is my free support women community. And so please join us there on Facebook, or invite anyone who you feel would benefit from this community. I wanted to share that I will be giving a free training before the end of the month, before the end of the year, December, I really don't want you to miss out. So please join us. The only way to benefit and to attend this free training online is to be a member of my tribe, which is the Free Butterfly Tribe. Thank you. I'm not sure if anyone... Hi there. Thank you. So one person is there. Thank you so much. And I will just go ahead and get started, okay? So today our topic is relationships. And by relationships, I don't only mean romantic relationships or marriage. I mean any personal or professional relationship. In fact, we are in relationship with everything around us. We are in relationship with people around us, individuals, work, our job, money, and most importantly, we are in a constant relationship with ourselves. And that's the one that always needs attention. That's the one that will allow us to really have a better life and navigate life and solve our problems in an easier way. Okay, so I'm going to start. I have 7 C's, 7 killers. Yeah, all starting with C, with the letter C. They are the 7 killers of relationships, and I will also suggest at least 7 relationship savers that also start with C. Okay, so this is going to be a bit snappy today, kind of quick. Here in Abu Dhabi, we're celebrating, in the UAE, we're celebrating the National Day of the UAE. So happy National Day, everyone. So many of you may be out of town or busy with something. So you may be watching the replay right now, and that's fine. Okay, so first of all, the first C, cutting off. So this is the first killer of relationships, cutting off. Now, when I say cutting off, I don't just mean when you are in a conversation with someone and you interrupt them too much. Yeah, interrupting can be a very, very human way and can be, a conversational, strategy, and it can be done in a very polite way. That's not really what I mean. What I mean is, it's about being completely or mentally disconnected. Yeah, you cut yourself off from the other person who you are dealing with or interacting with or in a relationship with, whether, at work or socially or, or any kind of relationship, really. So being disconnected from them, it's about not listening, not really listening. In this day and age, we are all on phones and, devices and iPads and things like that. And it looks like the world is very connected, which is true. The world is more connected these days in some ways. But we as individuals, we are disconnected. We do not listen anymore. We're too distracted by everything, and we are too into our own, thing and person. So it's about not listening to the other person. It's about jumping in and having an opinion, a piece of advice, an answer or a solution ready to just throw at the other person. Or wanting to only talk about ourselves, yeah? Or just wanting to express our own perspective or opinion and not really, really caring about what the other person has to say or is feeling or needs at that time from us. So that to me is cutting off, okay? Now, what is the saver? How can we save the relationship from cutting off and disconnecting? I would suggest curiosity. Okay, curiosity, being curious. When a child is growing up, they are so curious. They ask about everything. They go into every drawer. They look around. They're really, really interested in knowing everything around them, and that's how they learn. Yeah. When we stop being curious as adults, we stop learning and connecting, really connecting. So what I suggest here is go back to that curiosity. Just try truly listening, really listening, as if you just met the person, even if you have known them for like 10 years, Start kind of, intentionally rediscover the person. Maybe you missed out on some things. Things happen, life happens, and we all change and we all evolve, and our needs change. So try listening to them and discovering them as if it's the first time, as if you've never met, yeah? So that you try, this will help you to make a true connection happen. Yeah, it's never too late. You can always do this, no matter how much or how well you know the person. And this will help you get rid a little bit of your preconceived ideas, preconceived or prepackaged answers about that person. Yeah. So it will help you really, really find out and explore. And the thing is, everyone, in this world, every individual wants to be seen and wants to be heard. That's what it is about. And we are in relationship, we work with others, we get into relationship with others, we marry others because we want to be seen and heard. Yeah. So ask a question and listen without cutting off. Try that. Try to listen and truly be curious and interested in the other person, what they have to say, without preparing an answer in your mind. Yeah, without preparing what you're gonna say next. Okay, so that's the first one. First killer is cutting off, and the first saver is curiosity. And always keep checking in with the person. How are you feeling? Is there anything I can do for you to whatever they need at the time? Okay, do you want me to listen? What do you need from me right now? How can I be with you right now? Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So the next C, the next killer of relationships, is counting favors. All right. So, and along with this, there's also, I would add another C, which is climbing, which means using others to get places. Yeah, using. So basically, when we say counting favors, what I mean here is we enter into a relationship as a transaction. Okay, so we enter it to meet our own needs. We don't enter a relationship for its true purpose, which is to truly connect to another human being and really be present and full and totally and 100% us and authentic in that relationship. A transaction is not a relationship. So there's an element here when you count favors and you're using someone else to push your own agenda or get places or whatever. There's an element of codependence here to this kind of relationship, kind of behavior. There's no real connection that happens here. It is a safe place to be when we are afraid of people who are unlike us, who are different from us. So we try to find people who are exactly like us, who just are nice to us on the surface, and we just kind of, give and take. So, you agree with me, I agree with you. You serve me, so I can serve you. You give me, and I give you. And it stops there. So you don't really go any deep into any kind of real human connection here. You keep the status quo. It's a stale kind of place to be. There's no richness here. There's no true connection. Okay. Sometimes we end up with resentment and anger when the other person becomes true to themselves. They want to change, or they want to evolve, or they want to do something that makes them feel more authentic to themselves. Okay. All right. So what can we do about this? The C I would suggest here as a saver, relationship saver, is care. So what I mean by care is giving genuine love. So giving because it's my standard to give, not to get something in return. Okay? So I give and I love because I want to. I do it from a place of love, not as a way to buy or earn or pay for someone else's love. Okay, so this is not a transaction. I don't give because I'm expecting something in return. I give because I love. Okay, so it's very important to start by loving myself and giving myself, because we cannot give or pour from an empty cup. If I am empty, I don't have that love. How can I give it to others? Okay. If my needs are not met, how can I give to others? So always the responsibility is us, me as an individual. What am I doing? How am I meeting my needs? How am I meeting myself here? All right, so we have to really go back here to us. We have to love ourselves in order to be able to truly love someone else. Okay? All right, very good. Now, let's move on to the third one. And the third one, I keep looking at the screen to see if anything is happening here, because I am on the phone now, so that's fine. Okay, so number 3, the C. The next C, which is the relationship killer, is caving in or compromise. Now, when I was growing up, I grew up in Tunisia, where we speak our own Arabic dialect, and of course a lot of French, as many of you may know. There was always this expression that I learned and heard a lot growing up, especially in high school, when we were started talking more about relationships and started becoming young adults and understanding who we are and wondering and being confused about who we are and all of that, and human beings and human interaction and dynamics. And I grew up with this expression that always, I still hear it now, il faut compromettre, which means you have to compromise in relationships. You have to. And I'm here to tell you that I disagree. It's not exactly compromising, which means taking away from yourself or taking something out of yourself or putting yourself down or playing yourself down or giving up something that is really important to you in your core, and for the purpose of pleasing someone else, or being in a relationship with someone else, or being in a job that is abusive to you. Compromise is very dangerous. I find it very dangerous because maybe the original idea, the intention behind it was a good one, but the way that people do it many people do it that I can see around me is extremely wrong and extremely damaging to ourselves. So caving in, compromising always. What does it mean? It means always saying yes, okay, even when I want to say no to something. It means giving always and over-giving. And you will see that, when we overgive, we expect something. We're expecting, for example, someone else to give us, or in return, or love us, or something like that. It also means changing myself, changing who I am at my core, and really repressing that for the purpose of pleasing others. It means also putting other people first. Any lack of balance, any of these behaviors that lead to a lack of balance in the relationship, which means where I am not feeling balanced, I'm not feeling fulfilled, not true to myself, will lead to quite a toxic relationship. Also, it means also staying in a relationship of some kind that doesn't serve me, where I am unhappy, and not saying anything about it. And I can see this happen all the time around me, in romantic relationships, marriages, jobs, friendships. People stay in these things for years, lifetimes sometimes, and they don't do anything about it, although many times they can. It's just a question of connecting. That's the savor here. The C here is connecting. So connect. What do I mean here? It means I have to clarify and connect to what is important to me. What is important to me before I am in this relationship with whatever it is, another person, a job, whatever, a friendship. What is important to me? Why am I in this relationship? Who am I in this relationship? It's not really worth losing myself just to be in this relationship or this job or this whatever it is. Okay, so what is important to me? So 2 things here. Number 1 is to clarify and connect to your desires and wants. What do I want? What is it that I want as an individual? What are my desires? Maybe in a friendship, I want to be really heard. I want someone to hear me out without without judging me. Yeah. So this is a big one. Everybody wants that. Yeah. Perhaps in a job, I want my superior to listen to me, to not give me 3 projects at the same time. So I have to communicate that. Yeah. If I'm unhappy with that, I have to communicate it. I don't have to say yes. Yeah. I remember once in one of my past jobs, I was a younger person, and I had a tendency to say yes to every project because and this is another topic, which is strengths. If we look at this from the perspective of strengths, I am a person who has some top strengths that are quite into the doing energy, which means, for example, I'm an activator, achiever, futuristic. So I really take on too many things, and that led me to burnout. So I remember one. He wasn't actually a direct supervisor or manager of mine, but he had to have a conversation with me because he had something to do with a project I was involved with, or a department I was involved with. And I remember him sitting me down and saying to me, Sonia, you don't have to say yes to all of the projects that come to you. And it hit me. I was like, wow, I never thought about it this way. We grow up sometimes getting used to this idea that we have to do everything and work hard and all of that stuff, right? And we don't know that we can actually say no. So yes. So I really thank that person for really triggering and raising my awareness that day to that, and things changed from then on, actually. Yeah. Hi everyone who's watching. Fabian, Arish, Abdurrahman, thank you for being here. Drop a comment or a hello if you're there, or a like, or whatever you want to do. So okay, so basically the third killer of relationships with compromise, or caving in, always saying yes. And the saver, I would say, is connecting. C for connecting. Connect to your desires, what you want, and learn how to communicate those. And at the same time, you have to also connect with what you don't want. And whatever you don't want, create boundaries around that. What's the meaning of boundaries? It means this is something that I will not tolerate. Yeah? And it's your absolute right. For example, I don't tolerate my manager at work talking to me about my personal life, for example. Yeah? Some people are okay with it. Others are not. This is just an example, of course. So you communicate that, you clarify it for yourself, and you communicate it. Yeah? Because when we don't, things fester, of course, and resentment builds, anger builds, and all of kinds of heavy feelings build, and we don't allow ourselves to grow in this relationship. So really connect to what you want and what you don't want. Create some communication and clear boundaries around that. And stay clear. Another C here is clarity. After you clarify those things for yourself, you have to keep communicating them to others, informing them, and really expressing and showing the world how you want to be treated. Because many times people don't know that you're suffering, or that you're upset, or that you're not happy. So inform them. Tell them, have a conversation. All of this that we're talking about today is about having a conversation. From C for being closed to C for starting a conversation, engaging in a conversation. Okay, so another thing here, and I know this has taken a bit longer than other C's, with the central thing here, which is connecting and clarifying, connection and clarity, is something that is very helpful, which is designing the alliance or being clear and communicating about what you want before you engage, you enter into a relationship. Yeah, be clear, have that conversation. And I'm talking here about all kinds of relationships. So don't make assumptions about what the other person wants, and don't let them have assumptions about what you want. Communicate it. So for example, the business collaboration, how do you want to be in this business collaboration? Be clear. A romantic relationship, be clear about what you want from the beginning. Many people get into the trap of especially women get into the trap of dragging a relationship and not having what they want, because they usually want commitment, and then they end up being very resentful, and many of them actually do not communicate this need and this desire. Okay, so it's very important to really, really be clear about what you want before you enter into something. Even a job interview, treat your job interview with power, with self-empowerment. It's not about them giving you something here. It's about you being more important, in that you are giving them your expertise, your skills, your confidence. You're going to be building a business, a company, a job, a position. Okay, so take that seriously. And in the interview, ask questions, prepare questions, do research, ask about the company culture. Ask about how they are together and how you work best, how you are at your best, in a job. Excuse me. So in all kinds of relationships, whether they are personal or professional relationships or family relationships, it's extremely important to be clear and connect to what you want and clarify it for others. Okay? All right, we are halfway through. So the fourth one, thank you, Fabien. Thank you for your comment. Merci beaucoup. Coucou. Criticism. This is the fourth one, the C killer of relationships. Criticism, critique, criticizing always and blaming others, making negative comments or statements about others. It's about blaming others. And these critical thoughts and judgments are not only directed to others, they're also directed towards ourselves. Whenever you find yourself displaying any toxic or negative or judgmental behavior towards others, chances are you're doing it to yourself. Okay? Hi, Mazen. By this I mean behaviors or things like attack, bullying, domination of others, and things like that. We all know it. We all do it. And this is not about, oh no, I'm a good person, I don't do this. These are energies in us. We all have them. They are just reactions, and it's all very human. We all have these things. And we all do them from time to time, Now the trick is to really, really understand what we're doing here and how we are missing out and losing on the front of personal relationships. And these are opportunities for us to grow in relationship and to really understand what's going on within us. Okay, it's not about others, it's about us as individuals, always. So let's move quickly to the savor C. What is the good C here instead of criticism? So what I would suggest here or offer is, instead of criticizing and blaming and judging others, how about we consider with C, first, other perspectives, and second, other contributions. So this is about the belief that everybody comes with a wonderful package. Everybody comes with strengths and intelligence and ideas and contributions, basically, opinions, perspectives to offer. So what I'm trying to say here is that it's better to get curious about other people, to get to know them and see what they have to contribute, to what they have to bring to the table. Okay, so when we get out of that safe kind of box where we keep ourselves closed because we're afraid of other people, when we adopt a new perspective, there's only one way, there's only one result, which is growth. We're gonna grow. Growth doesn't come from being in the same place, acting the same way, saying the same things, judging others, judging ourselves. It comes with opening ourselves to other perspectives. And with more contributions, more perspectives, others, more people, we create something bigger, something more impactful. Always. Okay? So consider other perspectives, consider and invite and recruit other contributions from other people around you. Okay? Whether, of course, in your personal life or your professional life. Okay, number 5. Okay, so number 5 is something we find a lot in, I guess, marriages, and people complain about it a lot. And it's not, these behaviors are not gender specific. They're not only done by men or by women. And complaining is one of them that, shows up a lot in marriages and romantic relationships. So complaining, like nagging, and I have this conversation a lot with people, and women do it, men do it. So this is about, when I complain, I put myself in this place of, I'm not getting what I want, I am a victim here, everyone else is against me, I need help and nobody's helping me, I'm disadvantaged, so I become resentful, I nag even more, and I develop this relationship with the world, that the world is unfair to me. I'm always unhappy mode all the time. Yeah, and please tell me if you know anyone who got what they wanted, through complaining. I don't think so. Nagging and complaining doesn't get us anywhere. It's a very toxic and very negative and very low value kind of behavior. Okay, so instead, use something that we all have, which is communication. We have been gifted the gift of communication. We were created as people who creatures who communicate. So let's say, for example, if you are a person who tends to complain a lot, perhaps you are in a place of dependence, and perhaps it's a time and place when and where you have to be in that place temporarily, perhaps. Yeah, maybe you are someone who just lost their job and they have to depend on their family or their spouse, or something like that, for a while at least. It's not the end of the world. It's also about accepting where I am and figuring out how I'm going to grow from here. So when you find yourself in that place, communicate your needs. It can be a difficult place to be, when you are in a relationship with the world and others around you. So express what you need. Start the conversation gently, softly. Have a soft start to your conversation. Have a positive start to your conversation. Don't blame the other person. Don't jump on blaming the other person. Tell the other person how the situation where you find yourself is affecting you, is impacting you. And try not to use the pronoun you. Try not to use you, because you kind of starts a sentence where you're going to make a judgment or make a comment on the other person and what they're doing. So it's always taken with defensiveness. The other person may very quickly go into defense mode, of course, and the channels of communication may become blocked. So try not to use you, and try to focus on, I'll try to focus on me. How does this impact me? And then try to suggest a way forward. Yeah. Try to feed something, you know, positive. Add something positive into this conversation. You know, instead of complaining and saying what's not working and what's going wrong, try to suggest something that may work. And let's try it. Let's see how this pans out. Okay, so that was the fifth one. Instead of complaining, communication. Now we have only two left, and they're gonna get quite intense, especially the last one. So the sixth one, number 6, C, killer of relationships, is comparing and competition. Okay, so this is where when I put myself in this place of I am superior to everyone, everyone else is inferior, I compare myself constantly, I become impatient with others, and everyone else is wrong and they're doing it wrong, and I can only do it, nobody else can do it better than me. Yeah, and if you go a little bit deeper here, this is all about the ego, and competition basically is really, really anchored in a place of scarcity. Scarcity meaning lack, you know, in Arabic al-qilla or al-nudra, which means the belief that there is only one opportunity, you know, only one job, only very little money, only limited resources in this world, only one job, only one man, only one woman. Okay, and that is not the natural order of things. That is not the truth. The truth is the world is abundant. It's our beliefs that tell us, you know, that we may have learned, that tell us that the world is, you know, a scary place to be. Our brain is wired to tell us that if you don't snatch it, it's gonna go, and you have to compete to get what you want, because there isn't enough. The truth is there is enough, and it's a world, it's an abundant world, and there is enough. So without further ado, because we are quite late, here's how I suggest, I offer, you can replace that with a C, with a C saver of relationships, which is core. What do I mean here? The core, or the center, is what I mean is to revisit two things. Revisit and explore and make sure you clarify for yourself who you are at your core. When you clarify who you are at your core, your successes, your strengths, your talents, how you are expansive and free, you start really, really, really becoming more free and really feeling that abundance, that the idea of freedom, and that you can get anything you want, you can be anything you want without having to compete, without having to put other people down. Okay, so it's about going inwards again and really clarifying and really connecting with that core of yours. And number 2, revisit your core beliefs. What is it that you believe in? Because what you believe in is what's going to create your reality, your relationships. Okay, so if you believe that, okay, the world is, or maybe bosses are manipulative, if that's your belief, what's going to happen is that you're going to attract that experience and that kind of relationship or that pattern over and over and over and over again. If you believe that there are not enough jobs out there, or not enough money, that's what you're going to attract. That's the energy where you are putting yourself. Because, you know, it's a choice. You put yourself in this energy, or you put yourself in this energy. Scarcity or abundance. And you have to start with believing first. I believe I am here in abundance, and you start attracting more and more and more abundance. Okay? Abundance in Arabic is al-wafra. By the way, I will do my best to make sure that the video replays are subtitled in Arabic on YouTube. Okay, all of our videos are already on the replays are on YouTube. Okay, all right. So instead of competition and comparing myself to others, I have to go back to my core. You know, who am I at my core? What makes me abundant? What makes me successful? What makes me strong and talented? Because we all have that. And revisit my core beliefs, okay, about the world, about relationships, etc., etc. So we impact much more when we are flowing from that belief of abundance, where money is natural, it's flowing, it's not limited, resources are not limited, everything is available, there is more than enough always for everyone. We can create more whenever we want more. So life is different there from when we are in a constant place of competition and scarcity, and let me fight and struggle and fight, you know, off everyone else to get what I want and be what I want. Okay, so, and the last one. The last killer C of relationships is contempt. And contempt in Arabic is al-ihtiqar. Okay, now this is a very heavy word, I know, and it's a very, very toxic and heavy and judgmental place to be. And this is a place where we go, this is the last place where we go, the last place of toxicity, the worst place of toxicity that we can get to. This is a place where we display behaviors of sarcasm, name calling, bullying, cutting others down, putting them down, hostility, gossip, anger, hate, demeaning communication, very disrespectful communication to others, calling them names, and basically dislike for others. And you will notice, I just want you, and we all know people like this, people who act like this, and we may have acted like that ourselves, you know, either we communicate it or not. We may have, you know, had the experience. All of these energies are within us as human beings. So it's a question of really, really recognizing them and understanding how we can grow from them. Okay, you will notice that if you are contemptful, if you display contempt towards others, it is pretty much impossible that you are a happy person. It's impossible that you are a peaceful person. It's impossible that you are attracting good relationships. It's impossible that you're having a good relationship. And it is very likely that you feel those feelings towards yourself as well. Okay? So contempt is a very, very difficult and really, really heavy place to be, and we get there when it's the end, really. It's basically towards the end of a relationship. And many of these, of course, behaviors, you know, apply to any kind of relationship. But for example, in marriage, when you get to that point, it's the end, you know. So, some of these were based on research that was done on marriage, on couples who display toxic behaviors and end up, for example, I mean, these toxic behaviors predict divorce and separation in marriages. So yeah. So here's what I suggest. If you find yourself feeling contempt for someone else, if you find yourself always attacking people, bullying people, or you can see someone else who's doing that, because, you know, if you are really, really living, you know, with contempt every single day of your life, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. You would be really against, you know, you would probably, you may not have much awareness about where you are. But if you are watching and you find yourself always in that place of bullying and, you know, demeaning communication and hate and attacking others and, you know, and all of that, I suggest two things here. First, I suggest compassion. Compassion, C for compassion. And I wouldn't even say towards others. It's important, of course, to have compassion towards others, but it's very, 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 very essential that you look at yourself and start developing and cultivating compassion towards yourself. Where am I disrespecting myself? Where am I not loving myself? Where do I need to start forgiving myself? And this needs... this is a very dark place to be, and it may be very, very difficult for you right now. And it's a place that it's something that only happens with work, with inner work, which means working on yourself, inside of yourself. So in general, relationships are mirrors to us. When we are in a relationship, we grow in relationship. We don't grow by ourselves. We grow while interacting with someone else, communicating with someone else. We understand ourselves and who we are and how we can evolve and be happier while relating to others. And it takes great courage to try something new, to become vulnerable, which doesn't mean weak. It means being open. It requires vulnerability, and with vulnerability it means we need confidence in ourselves to be able to open up, you know, and ask for what we want and express how we feel, and what we want to change. Yeah, so all of this needs a lot of courage. And I would add one last word, a good C, a saver C, which is consistency. So for contempt, for example, yes, we need inner work, and we need to look out ourselves, and we need to give compassion to ourselves, and we need personal development and work. And it's not enough to have one conversation or watch a program or coach once maybe, and that's it. It's not enough. We're talking about maybe sometimes years of habits, bad habits, you know, negative patterns that affect us badly and affect our relationships. And we cannot change them in 1 hour, half an hour, or 5 minutes. We need consistency. And whatever that means for you, it could be a question of, you know, working on something in a very, very focused way for a month or 2 months or 6 months. I don't know. It really depends. There is no cookie cutter solution for everyone. So consistency is huge, really huge, and and commitment as well. So commit to yourself so that you can save your relationships with others. Commit and connect to your relationship with yourself and heal and improve your relationship with yourself, so that becomes reflected in your relationships with others, with your job, with the world, with money, with everything else. Okay, so work on yourself is the key, and it's the only key. Okay, it's not about trying to change others. You always have to look at yourself. Ask yourself what is happening when you see these behaviors on yourself and on others. Okay, so those were the 7 C's. And I would finish by reminding you that being closed, C for closed, in your relationships and your interactions with the world, with how you show up in the world. Again, this is your decision. Doesn't get us anywhere. What really gets us somewhere is starting that conversation, becoming vulnerable, and starting the conversation, which means just taking a chance on that person and talking to them, expressing how you feel. Okay. Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for whoever joined live. I cannot really see who is live anymore for now, but I really look forward to interacting with you again next week for our weekly video. I received a wonderful question from Hamis. Hi Hamis, if you're watching, who was very excited about me talking about this topic. I'm not sure whether we're going to do it next time or not, but we're going to do it for sure. And her question was really amazing, and I received this question many times, which is, how do I distinguish between my gut feeling, my intuition, al-hadas in Arabic, and my fears, my limiting beliefs and fears? Okay, how do I distinguish between those two voices? And this is a wonderful question, very important. Thank you so much, Hamis, for asking that, and it will be addressed in the future, in a future video. Okay, thank you again. I would love your questions, I would love your comments, your interactions, even a hello will be very welcome. Thank you, Mazen, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye guys, thank you.